I've been watching shows on the ID channel on Dunia. I've been watching some shows, like crime shows, on the ID channel, and most of the criminals and sociopaths and psychotic murderers and serial killers all come from very similar backgrounds to what I have. But I don't have an ounce of hate or evil in me. People are evil toward me, but I'm not evil to anyone. To anyone. In fact, I find myself often begging for the littlest thing, and I begged and begged and begged my whole life. I begged for a job. I begged for my promotion. I begged for a raise. I begged for love. I begged for relationships. I begged for friends. I begged for family. I even forgave my family for the hatred that they put on me. And I forgave them for their mistakes. And I'm still not wanted. How can people live with themselves knowing that they are hurting someone else? And I understand perhaps maybe it gives them power seeing someone else fail, but in this community, we're all about accepting and loving each other and wanting to embrace each other for who we are as individuals. Either it be trans or, you know, gay, straight, lesbian. We're all underneath that rainbow flag. And yet, so many colors, but there isn't a color that defines me. And it's sad. So many labels are put on things: non-binary, trans, bisexual, bottoms, tops, butch queens, butch drag. There's so many labels. It that we came out the closet because there were so many labels put on us, only to come out and put labels on each other in the community. That's not right. There shouldn't be any labels. Just because I'm a top and you're a top, does that not mean we can't be friends? Or because I'm a bottom and you're a bottom, does that not make us not want to be compatible in relationship or be friends? Or have a threesome? I don't understand. I don't understand. I was thinking about HIV the other day, and it's okay for someone now to have tested positive for COVID 19 and not receive any stigma. Even as with all these hate crimes with Asians and stuff like that, they're not blaming COVID on them. They're just telling them to go back to their countries. As the same thing with the recent spike in Jewish hate crimes, and it's these hate crimes are not stigmatized. They're hate crimes. There are people who actually violently want to rid themselves of someone else's cultural appropriation, and cultural identity. And That to me is not right in its own way, and those people should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But if HIV wasn't labeled a gay disease, I don't think it would have the stigma that it does today. Even with PrEP and people remaining undetectable, there's still a lot of stigma associated with having HIV. So I can say I have COVID and no one hate me or belittle me or want to beat me up or jump me. But having HIV, it's a whole nother story. People avoid me like as if I did have COVID-19 or Ebola or something like that. It's not a deadly disease. People live long, healthy lives. And I think it's being brought to everyone's attention, especially in this generation, like shows, with Billy Porter on Pose, FX's Pose. It's the stigma around HIV is just another reason for society and the community to hate someone for liking men or liking someone of the same sex or being queer or identifying as queer, and it's just another notch that I checked off on my wood shelf of how much people hate me and despise me. When Bill Clinton died, because that's when I started all this, when Bill Clinton died, it really changed me because people don't understand, like, the very war that I fought in is now over. The very war that I fought in is now over. And in 2005, it will be 20 years. It'll be 20 years since I came home. And that's a long time. It's a really long time. Again, it's just as long as when I adopted Bill Clinton. And I don't know, I'm just rambling on this one because I've done so much and I don't want to go further into, because I need to save the stories and I need to keep you or someone engaged and watching, and I don't know if that's working. I I hope one day these stories will be resurfaced, and I hope one day someone will actually hear me and know that their consequences have caused me to be this way. Other people's actions are my consequences. So the consequences of their actions made me who I am. From my mother to my stepfather to these grown men wanting to engage in sexual relations with a teenage boy. A boy who really didn't know who he was or what was right or what was wrong. Was only being told from someone else's opinion what was right and being forced to endure abuse. And it's unfortunate because it still goes on to this day. It's not anything sexual or physically, but there's still abuse. And that abuse to me is mental, and mental abuse is just as bad as being sexually molested, you know. Words matter, and sometimes the things that are coming out of people's mouths about me are very harsh and very cruel. Let alone the fact that I'm a sergeant in the army, it's people would salute me. People would salute me. And now people spit on me. People kick dirt on me. People have kicked my dog. People make these preconceived judgments about me without knowing anything about me. That's the purpose of my confessions. I want people to understand what their actions are doing. Their actions are very hurtful and very damaging to the very heart that is so loved and wants to be loved. Sometimes I feel like I'm the Tin Man and I don't have a heart. And it can't, it's been broken so many times. I don't even think there is one there. You know, I've had strokes and I've been in the hospital. People have called me every name in the book. People have jumped me. People have taken advantage of me and my feelings. All because I show some type of empathy and love and compassion. And yet, it's never reciprocated. Who? People are like, you can't blame other people, but if other people didn't treat me this way, I wouldn't be this way. If other people treated me with some type of respect or at least gave me a chance to prove myself, but then why do I have to prove myself to someone who doesn't know me or doesn't care about me? There's, if I was in the army, people would have to prove themselves to me because I was someone of authority, and respected. And here, as a civilian, it's since Bill Clinton has died, I just find these memories resurfacing. But what I find so disturbing is that there are no good memories. Every memory is traumatic. And I don't understand that. If all these memories are going to come flooding through my head because they've been put away for so many years, why are they not good memories? People are like, please think positive, please think positive. I'm positive that negative things happen to me. I'm positive that people are going to disrespect me. I'm positive that things are not going to go my way. Because every time I wish, hope, and pray that things work out in my favor, they don't. And I find myself having to beg and plead and someone to actually understand or listen to what it is that I'm trying to say. And as I said, I don't even think people are going to be watching this. So where's the love? Jesus Christ. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. I don't like crying because crying to me is like substance abuse or alcoholism or someone who's using drugs, you know, in need of an intervention, because crying only helps temporarily. Drugs only help temporarily. Alcohol only helps temporarily. Even sex only helps temporarily. When all is said and done, you're literally right back to where you were, in the depths of despair. As I said, I feel like I'm in a hole trying to climb myself out like a foxhole, and I can't get out. And the dirt is closing in on me, and I'm suffocating. That's how I feel. And my feelings not warranted? You know, are they not valued? People are so mean. Then they're like, well, why do you have to listen to people? If someone tells you, just think about this. If someone tells you, oh, that's a nice outfit, or, oh, you know, if you did Botox or something, it was like, oh, your face is beautiful, you know. You listen to that, and you listen to other people's opinion about you because it's positive. But when someone says something negative about you, you discredit that and don't listen to them. You know, so there's a catch-22 with that, and I'm not even sure how to even answer that question. Like, you have to, especially when you work in a public setting, other people's opinion are what makes you and gets you paid and shapes you, you know. Like Whitney Houston could not have revealed that she was a crackhead. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been the, you know, the queen that she was. So they had to shape her, mold her to a certain image to portray to the public. Because had she been her authentic self, no one would actually have listened to her or bought any of her music. You know, and I think that was her downfall because she was essentially hiding who she truly was. You know, and it's unfortunate she had an addiction, but that addiction caused her to lose her career. Her voice was never the same. I told people that her voice changed after she did The Bodyguard, you know, which the movie sucked, but because of the soundtrack, the movie ended up breaking records, you know? And it's all because of her voice. And Whitney never sounded the same after that movie. And it's unfortunate, but do I see myself going in that same direction? One, no, because I don't know any dealers. I don't know any people who sell. I don't even know where to get it. You know, I don't think I would want to though, because I did it before and it didn't help. So I'm not going to do it again only to fail. I've even tried to think about that. I've even tried to commit suicide and it failed. Everything I do, I fail. I fail. I fail. So why am I going to sit there and try to do something knowing that I'm only just going to fail and it'll be a waste of my time? These are things that are contemplating through my mind every single day of the week, and it's, should I go outside? Why? People don't recognize me, and I've lived in this neighborhood 13 years. 13 years. My neighbors can't even see me on the street. Or even to mention that my dog is missing. It's, or even offer a plate of food for Thanksgiving, knowing that I don't have family. Because I mention that to everyone that I come in counter with, because as I said repeatedly throughout these stories that and confessions, is that I'm finding myself repeating the same things over and over and over again like a broken record. And is that insanity? Because I'm not expecting a different outcome. Well, yeah, I am expecting a different outcome. I'm expecting someone to embrace me and accept me and love me and appreciate me and like me and talk to me. But instead, my time is up because I'm talking to a crisis hotline manager and the allocated time is up. And I had just gotten to a good part, to my point of why I was calling, and I have to hang up and then have to tell the story all over again. It's very redundant, and it's keeping me in a place that I don't want to be in, and I need that to change. And I thought adopting another dog will do that, but I didn't think it was going to be so difficult. Those applications are like the SATs. It's like they're asking me questions all the same questions over and over and over again. Like they want 5-year pet history to make sure my dog was up to date with his vaccines. Did you fall down and bump your little head? My dog was 21 years old. There's no records to be needed because one, he's not here anymore. Number two, do the math. If he was not up to date with all his vaccines and shots and up to date in his health, he would have never lived to be 21. Dumbass. Unfortunately, my vet last year died of COVID-19. Speaking of COVID, she died of COVID-19. She owned and operated her animal clinic for 62 years. And when she died of COVID, so did the business. And it's now boarded up and closed. And I can't obtain a 5-year history. Why do you need a 5-year history when that dog essentially becomes irrelevant when you're only focusing on the new dog? You get a new 5-year history on the new dog. I don't have a pet right now. So there is no vet. There is no 5-year history. It's just irrelevant bullshit. Reasons to judge me inappropriately. Again, I don't understand why someone would deny anyone who has served this country the right to adopt a pet. We should be the ones given priority. Like there's the infantry. I was in infantry. We're the first ones on the line, and we're the first ones to get shot at. We're the first ones to get blown up. We're the first on the scene. We're the first responders in the military. And how am I not respected as a first responder? My dog lived 21 years. I can't. I can't go on with this, so I'm going to stop now. I think I have enough, so I'm gonna stop now. But just a recap to where we are right now. I told you the stories from a boy at 4 years old to 18 years old, now entering basic training before I've gone to Iraq. And I haven't told you stories in the military yet, but they're coming. These stories are true events. These stories are actual life experiences I've had and had to deal with my life as a gay man. Anyone in the LGBTQ community has a story. These are my stories, my confessions, my truth. Some people may find what I'm saying disturbing, so viewer discretion advised, all rights reserved. Remember, you're always in a mix with Gaytopix. Please stay tuned for the next episode. Same bat time, same bat channel, blah, 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 blah. I'm your host, Kenny Cruz, and this is Gaytopix Confessions. Have a blessed day.